I don't even really know where to start. But I guess I'll start where I'm supposed to. And that's acknowledging how different the pain is with grown man heartbreak versus puppy love adolescent heartbreak. When I was younger and I experienced heartbreak, it was more so from a victim point of view, like from a victim standpoint. Me feeling like, oh, poor me, I got my heart broken. Oh, poor me, I lost the person I was in love with. Or, oh, feel sorry for me because I got done wrong in this way. I got done wrong in that way. Please validate my feelings so that I can feel better about myself. But grown man heartbreak is multi-layered pain. It's not just pain from losing a person that you were in love with or a person that you're still in love with. It's also the pain of remorse, because a big difference between adolescent or immature heartbreak and grown man heartbreak should be accountability and acknowledgement and taking responsibility for the role that you contributed to the demise of the relationship. Not ignoring that two people, played a role in the demise of the relationship, but also not solely putting the blame on the other person. And actually, I would go as far as saying taking more of the blame than pointing blame to the other person, if that makes sense. Like, there's nothing that I can do about the things that were done wrong to me or the things that I felt were done wrong to me, but I can do everything about changing the things that I did that caused some type of pain or hurt or was toxic in a relationship. And because I can't control the other person and I can only control me, most, if not all, of my attention should be going towards what I did wrong in the relationship. And let me take away the air quotes, because some stuff was legitimately wrong. Some stuff was misaligned, but some stuff was legitimately wrong. And with that clarity and that accountability, there's going to be an inevitable degree of pain that you're going to feel from just having remorse for hurting somebody that you deeply care about. At least you should have some type of remorse. And that's what separates like grown man heartbreak from adolescent heartbreak. Because as an adolescent, or even as a younger man, when my heart was broken, I was way more inclined to point the finger at the other half of the relationship in an attempt to get my feelings validated by other people, or for other people to comfort me and make me feel better about having my heart broken. So it was all, all poor me. I'm the victim here. I'm the one who got done wrong. And just going about it from a total victimhood mentality. And that was when I look back on how I used to deal with heartbreak compared to how I deal with it now. I realized how juvenile and adolescent that actually was of me to go straight to pointing the finger at the other person and not looking within myself to see what role I contributed to the breakdown or the fall of the relationship. And not even just the breakdown or the fall of the relationship, but any potential breakdown of the person that I was in a relationship with. Like, that matters to me. For me to reflect now and go back in my mind and know that there were points in time where I made the person that I was in love with feel bad or not feel good, that hurts. Like, that hurts my heart, because from the point of clarity that I have now, because of me actually healing in a healthy way, it's opening up my heart to have so much more empathy and remorse for the other person, because I'm not investing energy into feeling bad for myself. I feel bad for the relationship itself, but I don't so much feel bad for myself, even though, no one person is likely to blame of the dysfunction or loss or breakdown or demise of any relationship. It's usually two people contributing to that, but regardless of what the other person did, that's not my concern right now as I'm healing, because I'm more interested. Like, I've already identified the red flags or the things that could cause harm to me, and I like store those files away in my memory to be able to pull them up whenever I need to, if I'm ever evaluating a future situation. But so those thoughts aren't as prevalent on my mind as the thoughts of where I went wrong, because that's where my energy is aimed at, because I want to be better. I don't want to hurt anyone that I love ever again. Sitting with that guilt and that remorse and sometimes shame that comes from knowing that I played a role in hurting somebody that I love is not, like, it don't feel good. Like, if you got kids and you've ever even accidentally hurt your kids' feelings, you know how much that, how like gut wrenching or heart gripping that is. The feeling of knowing that somebody who loves you and depended on you and trusts you, knowing that their feelings were hurt by something that you did, it's gonna eat you up inside. And in the case of healing from a broken relationship, I personally think that this has been an unpopular opinion amongst a lot of people that I talk to, because a lot of people have the right intentions, I feel, by like trying to tell me to not be so hard on myself, or to not focus so much on the things that I did wrong. Like, I know their intentions are well. It's just because they want me to feel better. However, I do personally believe that it's necessary for me to sit in that guilt for a while, because the feeling of guilt feels so bad that I don't ever want to feel it again. So if I don't, and I know people not gonna agree with this, but whatever, I have to kind of punish myself and feel that feeling, so that I'm for sure not gonna want to do it again. Like, that's the reason why kids get punished. That's the reason why punishment exists in the first place. It's not meant to be comfortable. It's supposed to be uncomfortable. It's supposed to make you have a feeling of discomfort to the point where you like, I don't want to feel that anymore. So what do I have to do to make sure I don't feel that feeling of guilt? Now, some people are just flat out sociopaths, I guess, and I also think like narcissistic people, like true narcissistic people, I don't think they feel that remorse because they just don't care. Like they don't care that something that they did hurt somebody else. For a minute I was like, damn, am I narcissistic? But then as time went on, or as I gained more clarity and I began to heal more, and I was able to have self-talk more from a logical, rational standpoint versus just full-blown emotional, I realized that no, I'm not narcissistic, because if I was narcissistic, I wouldn't care how my actions affected somebody else. It would just be all about, my bottom line, which makes me think back again to when I was younger. Maybe I was narcissistic when I was younger, but I also was told that once you're narcissistic, you always are. I don't know. I don't feel like a narcissist because it's not all about me. It's far from all about me. I've done a damn good job at being able to compartmentalize my pain, like or to be able to understand that two things can be true at once. I can be sad for my loss and for the negative impact that heartbreak has had on me, and I can also acknowledge the pain that the other person has probably felt. As a grown man, it's just super important to be able to sit with those emotions and feelings when you're going through grown man heartbreak, and let the feelings do what they supposed to. Like when you missing the person, allow yourself to miss that person, because if you allow yourself to miss that person, you also are gonna have to experience the pain that comes along with missing a person, and then you're gonna be able to trace back why you feeling that pain in the first place, and you'll be able to acknowledge, oh, it's because I wasn't a perfect partner in my relationship, and I could have potentially been the one to contribute to the breakdown of the relationship, and therefore I'm not gonna do anything in the future that could increase my chances of having to be in that situation again. Of course, can't always control the outcome of a heartbreak, because sometimes you might do everything right and you still might get your heart broken. But at the very least, if you do everything as right as you can with good intentions, you're not going to be perfect. But if you are intentional about being well and showing up well in the relationship, at the very least, you are increasing the odds that the relationship will last, because you controlling the part that you can, you doing your part. So even if it's only increasing the odds by a little bit, it's at least increasing it something. So yeah, it's been a hell of a journey dealing with grown man heartbreak and reflecting on the difference between how I deal with it now versus how I dealt with it when I was, younger, more immature, more selfish. And it's a bittersweet thing, because on one hand, I still have my days where I just hurt and I'm just longing for what I had. But on the other hand, there's a certain excitement that I get from approaching the unknown, but with better resources, or a better mindset, or better tools to use to make sure that I'm a better person going forward. And I'm just excited to see how that will contribute to love in the future. You know, that's just something that I'm looking forward to being able to experience, going into a new season of loving, but with a more mature, steady, grounded, secure mindset. I'm gonna talk more about the mindset that I used to have going into relationships and how I know now that that was a major contributor to the breakdown of pretty much all serious relationships that I've been in. But I'll save that for another video, because I'm pretty sure that somebody somewhere someday is going to be able to listen to the things that I'm talking about heartbreak, about love, about what it really means to be in your masculine frame, and they'll be able to hear these things and apply them to their own life and possibly prevent themselves from either having to even go through some unnecessary pain that they would have had to go through had they not been operating from a more solid standpoint, or they might be able to expedite their own healing process by hearing these words, because they'll, for one, discover that they're not alone, and for two, this can possibly serve as like another layer of their own, conscience to help guide them through their healing process, but with additional perspective, so that some of their blind spots might be covered that wouldn't have been covered had they not heard it or seen it elsewhere. So I hope whoever listened to this all the way through, even if you didn't listen to it all the way through, I just hope that these words land where they're supposed to land. Man, woman, whatever, like current lovers, former lovers, whatever, whoever needs to hear this, I just hope that it might, even just a little bit, potentially change the outcome of either your current relationship, future relationships, or your healing in general. So y'all be well, keep loving yourself, keep loving each other. We all in this together. All right.